the next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing live film sessions leading up into, so on the 23rd and on the 30th, this upcoming Monday, 8 p.m. on the 23rd, we're going to be breaking down the Alabama offense and what the Miami defense can do against the Alabama offense based on the spring game. Because in my opinion, it makes no sense to watch last season. A lot of those guys are not on the field, and a lot of those same coaches who were there are either at Texas or at other places because they left with Coach Steve Sarkisian. Okay, so we're going to be breaking down the Alabama spring game, and we're going to be breaking down what Miami can do scheme-wise to the best of our ability, because at the end of the day, they're going to be vanilla because they know that that's the information they give out there to anyone and everyone who can see their spring game and break it down. And then the Monday after that, on the 30th, I'm going to be breaking down the Alabama defense and what the Miami offense can do against the Alabama defense for some success. But just to give a little snippet of what the Miami offense can do. So this Alabama defense is young but not inexperienced. Okay, that's a big question, a big thing. When people say there's just like three avenues, there's young defense, there's inexperienced defense, and then there's young and inexperienced. What that means is you just had a whole bunch of people leave, the young and inexperienced, but the guys who are now going to be starters either got very low snaps last year or little to none at all. Okay, but this Alabama defense was young last year, which is why their defense gave up all these yards, and you had all these shootouts and 35 points given up by the defense. But their experience, because majority of those young men, besides their middle linebacker, their number one corner, and their rush three technique, all come back. Okay, they are going to be a very stacked. They say multiple defense is a base 3-4. They also run a 4-2-5 on second and longs, third and longs. They also have a 2-4-5 where they have stand-up edge rush presence, where outside linebackers are in 2-point stances rushing the passer, and their defensive ends move in a defensive tackle. Okay, they are very, very athletic at the linebacker position with 6'2" plus, 230 plus, and they all run sub 4.5. Okay, their plan is basically they take big safeties and move them to linebacker and have them gain weight over time. That's been the formula that Coach Nick Saban, and it really came when he had Pete Golding, who's now defensive coordinator, and Coach Pruitt when he came in for a little stint after Coach Kirby Smart departed for the Georgia job. And then Coach Pruitt left for Tennessee, and then they promoted Pete Golding from within to take over. And he's a younger coach. I think he's about 37, something like that. It's funny for me to say that at 25, young, but in your coaching, in the list of coaching, 10 years still ain't enough. 15 years still isn't enough. You see a lot of coaches get their opportunities in their 40s because they've been in it for 20, 22 years and been around the game for even longer than that. Okay, but Coach Golden, in his way, he has sometimes a 3-3-5 stack look because he wants more of an athletic front, shooting gaps and moving, but they already come with the size. Of course, we're talking about Alabama. Okay, they're gonna have these big 6'5", 6'4" dudes. Their body fat percentage is very low. They have some of the best coaching and technicians, but they also come as high 4- and 5-star guys with all this athleticism, and they just put weight on you, and you move closer to the ball as you gain weight. And that's just been the formula that they've been using in Alabama for the last 3 to 4 years. So in my instance, for Miami to be successful, the way that I look at it is, of course, it starts with the offensive line. We must be able to win the point of attack at offensive line and on our defensive line. What I mean by that is the minute that we contact the Alabama Crimson Tide players, it must be on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Okay, we need to have movement where we're gaining ground, whether it be a stretch, whether it be a dive, whether it be a pitch. We need to be able to move these guys backwards. Okay, when we're going down a line of scrimmage on a stretch, we can't have Navon Donaldson step down And that three technique is already in that gap because I'm going to you and I'm reaching for your upfield shoulder. We can't have him stab Navon Donaldson at the point of attack and not move. And then now when Cam Harris tries to cut, he runs right into the defensive tackle at the line of scrimmage. We can't have those kind of things. We need to be moving them backwards at minimum for a 2-3 yard gain at all times. Now, obviously, that's a lot easier said than done. So that's what I'm thinking about at the offensive line. Let's go to the running back position. The way I think we can attack these linebackers is if we can climb and get our guys on top of them, whether it be a Jalen Rivers, whether it be a Navon Donaldson or a Corey Gaynor. If we can get and climb to their linebackers, they're very athletic. They got nice size. Okay, but these aren't the 240, 250-pound linebackers of the past. These are 228, 230-pound linebackers. Yes, they're very explosive. Yes, they're very long, but if we're able to get to them with our size and kind of swallow them up, then what I'm hoping is we can have our running backs be able to cut up and move down the football field. Tight end wise, I think they have athleticism to cover our tight ends, but when we do have the opportunity, we have to make our plays. Okay, Will Mallory, if you get open, you got to catch the football. Okay, we can't have times where you got the dropsies. Wide receiver wise, it's a big question mark as to who's really going to go out there. And when you do get your opportunities, they got to make the play. They have to make the play because it's Alabama secondary. Now, that's Coach Saban's bread and butter. Okay, he's their secondary coach technically. Now, Cesare is the defensive backs coach by name, but that is Coach Saban's stuff. Okay, and they're going to be great communicators. They're going to be highly talented players. It's just you have to, when you have your opportunity, your timing must be up there with your quarterback, De'Aaron King, and you got to go attack the ball at its highest point and come down with the freaking football. It's that simple. Now, you look at De'Aaron King, here's your opportunity. You want to be an NFL draft pick? You want to be an NFL starter eventually? Here's your opportunity against an NFL style coached defense to go out there and make plays. And last time we played something this potent, he didn't look too good, and it was the Clemson Tigers. And that defense wasn't even all that as far as some of the best Clemson defenses of the past. You're going to be lining up against a very, very talented Alabama defense. Again, when you're scouting, you're not really here to do much of the kissing behind. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a very talented, very well-coached team. And all you can ask is that our game plan that we put together is up to par. It gives us a chance to be in this game and hopefully at some point come across with a couple dubs in the one-on-one matchups, whether it be one-on-one offensive line, one-on-one wide receivers, one-on-one tight end against linebacker safety, one-on-one running back in open space. And lastly, Mark, I will say this. We cannot go down with one man. You cannot go down with one man. Force Alabama to have 2-3 players come help bring you down. You can't be one-on-one where you're the running back, one-on-one with a linebacker, and you go down off a shoestring tackle. This is a great game, a great program on a big stage. We must break tackles in open space.
Yeah, not everything's going to be blocked perfectly against that defense for sure.